Don't blink. It's your boy Hank. Welcome to part two. Part two version number two. More version number two than part two of the video on consumerism. So it all stemmed from me drinking a cherry black can. Oop, I almost dropped it. And then I hold it. It was nice. I was like, do I prefer In my head, I was like, do I prefer a glass can or a aluminum can? Right? And you know me, I don't have a filter. So when I think about something, I said it. So in that video, it stemmed another idea, which was how does consumerism affect me? We took the cherry as an example. And I believe it's a perfect example. I had manzana cherry, which is basically a cherry dipped in its own juice as a first cherry. So for me, cherry was almost candy. Cherry was almost too sweet. As a kid, my go-to drink in a restaurant was a Shirley Temple, which is Sprite and cherry, right? Then I would eat real cherry, and I didn't like it because it wasn't my perception of cherry. My perception of cherry was with Sprite, which is sweet. It was with uh, it, it's weird. It's weird in the fashion of all of these, right? All of these stem from my first impression. Like, I know blue raspberry isn't real. I know it's not exist. Don't exist. I can tell you exactly how it feels because it's conservation, right? The fact that I'm using a aluminum can was because I was raised drinking Pepsi and Coke, right? And sorry about that. I received a call. It wasn't a blooper. Yes, we're filming from the phone. So yeah, so legit. I'm not supposed to know what blue raspberry tastes like because blue raspberry isn't real. It exists, but it's not real. Don't find it in nature. And it also came from a fact of how you grew up, if your parents and if you watch the first video, this is a lot of rehashed stuff. Just said differently. So it's the same concept, presented in a different fashion. Right? So you see, so a family that goes out to eat a lot aren't going to be motivated to cook because they go out a lot. My apologies. A family with a good cook who cooks often and makes you really good food, it makes you interested in food because you have a direct reward. See, with I was talking about a Italian, right? And the fact that their grandma and their mother and maybe their grandfather was really good cook. Imagine understanding your grandparents are really good cook. Their parents was really good cook, and one day you'll be able to learn this recipe. You'll be able to be as good of a cook as that. See, as a human being, we wanna conquer, we wanna win. I think it's in our nature. So even if winning is being a good cook, we'll fucking take it. We are gonna take it, right? And it brings us to another subject. Is that what is right? Making food or going to the restaurant? I think if you're able to make food, right, do food, but understand that making food takes a long time. Understand that the fact that you're going to the restaurant costs money, which also costs time. So the end result is pretty much the same. It's just something different. It might be healthier at home. It might be healthier in the restaurant. Who the fuck knows, right? So again, consumerism, how it affects us. I think also it's funny because I'm gonna add politics to the mix. If there's family that said, "Oh, we've been voting red for years. We've been Democrats for years. We've been liberal for years." Right? We've been Republican for years. And if your parents were there and their whole speech, politically speaking, is this, you might be, by nature, more apt to vote for this one. For example, right? If I don't know politics and my father is Republican, and he always tell me Republican, 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 Republican. Well, as a young adult, my first vote, look at this. I want you guys to see the rain. I want you guys to see the rain because it's beautiful. I love the rain, guys. I love the rain. It's raining hard. Can you see the rain? No, we're going to be able to see it on this one. Can you guys see the rain? Yes, you can. Right, it's beautiful. I love rain. And you realize that as a young adult, you're going to come in and you say, well, my parents were always voting this way. I'm going to vote this way. Now, if you get informed and you choose to have another political party, right? That's on you, but you were informed. You made the effort to inform yourself. So yeah. Oh shit. We lost power. We lost power, guys. We lost power. So I'm gonna be filming those videos, but I'm not gonna be able to stream. Fuck. So shit. Long story short, your consumerism is your habits. I think habits is more of a way. And why am I saying this? It doesn't matter if you drink from a can or a bottle, right? It matters that you're used to it. It matters that you have an habit you're more comfortable with. It doesn't feel foreign to you because that feeling foreign feels familiar. There's familiar, there's foreign. There's no in between, right? There's, oh, I know this, but I'm not aware of that. I'm not super familiar with it. You're not familiar. You're foreign, right? It's also the fact that you ate. I was talking about spice resistance. Like I'm gonna have these later on as a snack, and I know these are super spicy, but they're enjoyable. But would it be as enjoyable if I wasn't? See, as a non-spicy guy, when I get to find a snack that isn't spicy, I enjoy myself, right? This is one of my guilty pleasures. Oh, I found something that I can eat that is not too spicy and I enjoy. And this is a guilty pleasure. And I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that it's a guilty pleasure. Yes. Um, Again, it's also the fact that you have to understand that what you're doing right now, and in the fashion of, for example, right? I'm broke. I'm eating ramen because I'm broke, right? There's nothing wrong with eating ramen when you're broke, but because of your lack of cash, because of your lack of income, you're gonna be eating the same meal. Like for example, I had ramen. It's kind of crazy. Consumerism is kind of crazy. That's the way it is. Like as a kid, my father used to make spaghetti, and my father's spaghetti, it wasn't great because what he wouldn't do. And again, I love my father. It's not his fault. He didn't know. Um, what he would do, it was he would make his spaghetti, right? And he wouldn't drain his noodle. He wouldn't drain the noodle. So when it comes to making a sauce, the sauce was really good, right? But the sauce was also affected by the fact that there was a lot of water in the noodle. So the water went through the spaghetti, right? My mom should make good spaghetti, but my mom, I only saw her twice a week. So I grew up kind of liking pasta, but not so much. I didn't like spaghetti. I like pasta with butter. I like pasta crab dinner, but I didn't like spaghetti. And we ate a lot of spaghetti. So for me, pasta wasn't my favorite dish, right? And then something happened. I went to an apartment, and I didn't have the income that I wanted to eat what I wanted. So we started eating ramen, and for a solid year, all I ate was ramen. Middle, noon, supper, and for breakfast, I would have drumroll please, and I would some rice or some not ramen, right? And it's cool because it was a product that I never knew, and the consumerism came from need to find something cheap and affordable, and the ramen were serving that need, and the ramen evolved in a very specific fashion of I'm able to eat something that I like, right? And it doesn't cost money, and when I see a ramen, I can help but remember that time, and that time to me is positive. So by remembering that time, I associate the fact of eating ramen positively. And that has to do a lot with consumerism. As a kid, you grew up eating something, and it brings you memories. You're gonna be looking fondly, even if it tastes like shit. But I remember how good it was when you were a kid, right? That's consumerism and how it affects us. So again, thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. Sorry it's a long video, but hey, King of Yakkers over here. Love you guys. Peace.